Allen. The Ondo State government has concluded arrangements to disburse 10,000 naira cash transfer to over 18,000 vulnerable people across the state as part of efforts to cushion the hardship occasioned by the fuel subsidy removal. The State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Mrs. Bamidele Ademola Olatejo, at a press conference in Akure on the palliatives distribution strategy and arrangements have also been concluded by the Palliatives Committee with the suburb to share 10,000 packs of Indomie noodles to over 190,000 primary school pupils in the state. She said the free shuttle buses and shuttle bus for students and public servants will be sustained by the government's Palliative Committee. The Commissioner said the government has also commenced investigation into alleged disappearance of over 500 bags of rice meant for the vulnerable in Akure South local government. Also, Ondo State government is in talks with labor leaders and would soon announce a wage award for civil servants as part of measures to cushion the effects of fuel subsidy removal in the country. Ondo State Head of Service, Kayode Ogundele, made a clarification while addressing journalists in Akure, the state capital, as part of activities marking this year's Public Service Week. Omoniola Ogbeji reports that the theme for this year's anniversary is bureaucratic impact on investment promotion in Ondo State. Her report.
The 2023 edition of Public Service Week anniversary in Ondo State with the theme Bureaucratic Impact on Investment Promotion in Ondo State is a 3-day program for workers, and one of the objectives of the program is to engage public servants on how to improve the state's bureaucracy. This press briefing was a platform for the Ondo State Head of Service, Mr. Kayode Ogundele, to acquaint public servants with government's welfare programs. For them, according to him, 12,372 workers have so far been promoted this year, while the process for the 2024 promotion exercise will soon commence. He added that salaries and leave bonuses are being paid as and when due, hence the need for workers to eschew unprofessional practices and give their best to the government.
The government is not only living true to its promises, securing lives and properties through the valuable service of the Ondo State Security Network Agency, and giving financial support to other security agencies in the state, delivering massive infrastructural transformation in road expansion and rehabilitation across the nodes and crannies of the state, embarking on agricultural revolution and rural development, empowering the vulnerable people through Ondo Care program, improving revenue generation. It has also made the issue of workers' welfare a priority.
The number one civil servants also announced that the government was in the process of engaging over 1,000 health workers before the end of the year, while measures are being put in place to address
some critical recruitments have been made to boost different sectors, among which are the health, work, as infrastructure, and education sector. And some deployments were made from other sectors to shore up the staffing positions in our schools, pending when a full-scale recruitment will be made. It cannot be overstressed that the posture of Mr. Governor is towards the welfare and prosperity of workers.
While encouraging public servants to improve service delivery, Mr. Ogundele announced that the Ondo State government is in talks with labor leaders to announce a befitting wage award for civil servants to cushion the effects of fuel subsidy removal.
Myself, the SC to Mr. Governor Union Matters, and the leaders of the labor union met in our office, and we all discussed what is the way forward. And right here and then, we agreed that the issue of wage review or whatever, wage award, before the federal government came up, we agreed that that is going to be one of the things we will do as a way forward for workers in the Ondo State. We agreed on what is to be done, and then Mr. Governor saying, go ahead. So whatever we agree on with the Labour, we would let you know.
The 3-day program lined up for this year's event will also witness interactive session between the head of service and workers on Wednesday, 18th, while public service lecture reflecting the theme of the anniversary.
Students should be acquainted with governance and legislative procedures for meaningful.
The competition, among others, aimed at providing continued education on the legislature and broadening the knowledge of students and youth on the history, practice and procedure of legislature, and encourage deeper understanding in the ministry. Mrs. Modupe Onokun maintained that democratic participation remains the fundamental pillar of good governance, and therefore the younger generation needs to get acquainted with the processes and procedures early. Mrs. Adegoke said, since democracy is rooted in the principles of participation and informed decision-making, citizens need to be knowledgeable about their rights and procedures of governance for informed decisions about the country. According to her, the competition is an avenue for the children to broaden their knowledge on the demands of democratic governance.
Democracy is founded on the principle of participation and informed decision-making. At the heart of this principle, it is the understanding that citizens need to be knowledgeable about their rights and the role they can play in shaping a better society. This competition therefore their communities.
The Director General of the National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Study workings of the legislative arm of government.
The broad objective of the competition is to provide continuing education of the legislature and broaden the knowledge of the legislature and encourage deeper understanding of politics, make them more proactive in matters related to the legislature and democracy.
The annual quiz competition is open to both public and approved private secondary schools across the 3 central districts of the state, and 6 schools, 2 from each central district, made it St. John.
Ondo State government would not fold its hand and give room for miscreants to extort money from the peace-loving people of the state. The Senior Special Assistant to Ondo State Governor on Special Duties and Strategies, Dr. Doyin Odebowale, gave the assurance while addressing tricycle owners in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Osrc reporter Zimo Ebieme covered the event, and the report is presented from our studios.
Tricycle owners came in their numbers to talk about their challenges and how government can come to their aid. Their engagement with the representative of government, the Senior Special Assistant to Ondo State Governor on Special Duties and Strategies, Dr. Doyin Odebowale, centered on friendly business environment, security, among others. The Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Special Duties and Strategies said government was particular about the prevailing peace in the state and would
anyway recognized by us. They're taking money from them, giving them problems, insisting that they must charge a particular fare from passengers. So this thing got to
tricyclists to get registered for accountability.
Very much. You see, we started the registration exercise in 2018 with the Okada riders, and they joined because we will not tolerate a thing where you pick a passenger here, then we have a complaint that the person cannot be found. No, we will clamp down on all of them. So it is in their interest to register, and they should not wait. Like I told them, they shouldn't wait for us to start running after them before they register.
The governor's aide warned the riders against being used as political thugs to destabilize the state and cause disaster. And one of the tricycle riders, Mr. Ikechukwu God's Power, acknowledged government's effort at ensuring peace in the state and for supporting them at the time of their needs.
What I don't know before, I know it. I need to go and correct some things.
State is not only for the Marwa riders alone. It's for the interest of the whole state, because when there is a smooth running in the state, everybody will enjoy, there will be peace.
They also assured government that tricyclists in the state would begin registration of their tricycles without delay and support efforts at ensuring continued peace in the state.
Ondo State House of Assembly has called on beneficiaries of microcredit loans in the state not to renege on their promises to pay back in order for others to benefit. The Chairman House Committee on Commerce and Industry, Felix Afek, during a working visit to the office of Ondo State Microcredit Agency, assured of the Assembly's commitment to ensuring that public funds are well managed. House of Assembly correspondent was
created by law to cater for the vulnerable as well as productive people and empower them to be self-reliant, could be described as a step towards boosting the economy of the state. Chairman of the committee, Felix Afe, assured of the Assembly's necessary support towards alleviating poverty in the state.
If we release money for someone, it pays, another person will get it. So that this thing will be moving, because most of the time before you come here, you see, you don't even need to tell us, because we see people that are filling for, that are applying for the loan. We will see them here if these places are existing. So we want to appeal to you that we will give you all our support, particularly on the house.
The chairman of the agency, Mrs. Adenike Ademujimi, while activities of the agency, said credit facilities are granted to members of the public through its various schemes after the laid down conditions had been met. The agency boss solicited the support of the committee in reviving the organization and informed that those given loans had not paid back as expected, depriving others from benefiting.
So when I heard that we are coming, I said, thank God, they are representative of the people. Then to the market women that were giving loan, I wanted to go and appeal to the conscience of our KBACs, because you know the Iyalojas were installed in the market. I need that support from the House member that microcredit must be resuscitated.
Other legislators of the committee stressed the need to strengthen the agency to enable it to deliver on its mandates. Omoshiliola Adesori Ajayi, Osrc News.
A federal high court in Abuja has fixed October 30 to hear a preliminary objection filed by Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu against a suit filed by his deputy Ayedatiwa to stop his impeachment by the state's House of Assembly. Justice Emeka Nwite, who adjourned the matter after Ayedatiwa's counsel opposed the submission of lawyer to Akeredolu on his insistence to have his application heard, also fixed same date for hearing the deputy governor's counter affidavit. Justice Nwite equally fixed the hearing order of the court filed by the lawmakers for the same date. The judge asked all parties to put their house in order ahead of the next adjourned date. Justice Nwite had on September 26 restrained the Ondo State House of Assembly from impeaching Ayedatiwa over alleged gross misconduct. Efforts are in top gear to construct 70 housing units for the people of Ondo State. Management of Marketing Cooperative Limited gave the hint during a visit to the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to the construction site at Osrc community in Akure North local government area of Ondo State. Omorion Lagbeji reports that 22 out of the 70 housing units have been completed. Her report.
As population growth and urbanization increase rapidly, so is the demand for affordable housing. According to statistics in 2023, Nigeria has an estimated 28 million housing deficit, with experts position that the real estate sector will need an investment of over 21 trillion naira, as well as a partnership with the government to build sufficient housing for the entire population, so as to provide affordable housing units for the populace in the wake of escalating rents. In order to bridge the housing gap and provide sustainable housing in Nigeria, the federal government decided to intervene. This site at OC in Akure North local government area of Ondo State is expected to house 70 units of 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms detached bungalows, 3 bedrooms terrace, as well as 4 bedroom detached duplex. The initiative is a partnership between the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing and Marketing Cooperative Society and Investments Limited, financed through the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Representatives of the bank at the both federal and state levels arrived at the site at OC community to inspect the ongoing project. As at press time, 22 units of semi-detached 2-bedroom apartments have been completed, while others are in varying stages of completion. Reacting, representative of Mackenzie Cooperative Society and Investments Limited, Atinuke Olawale Ogunkwa, confirmed that the project will be completed as scheduled.
We're here to witness history once again. We have the construction of a whole number of housing units going on here, both 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and so on. Yes, they are, because I've been seeing a lot of nods, and even the branch manager of the Federal Mortgage Bank that's in Akure here has given it a good percentage.
Interested and qualified persons, according to her, are eligible to benefit from the gesture. Omoriola Hungbeji, Osrc News.
No fewer than 2,180 youths and women have benefited from the International Fund for Agricultural Development (IFAD) programs between 2020 and 2023, which cut across the 10 selected local government area of Ondo State. The state coordinator of IFAD, Prince Olawale Ademola, spoke in Akure at a press conference. Our correspondent, Olabanjo Okundowole, was there. His report is presented from our studio.
The International Fund for Agricultural Development Program is designed to address poverty and hunger in rural areas of developing countries. It is the only multilateral development organization that focuses solely on rural economies and food security. The Ondo State Project Coordinator of IFAD, Prince Olawale Ademola, said that the program was designed to empower youth and women, especially those living in rural and suburban communities. Ademola explained that the objective of the project was job creation, increased income and food security for the youth and women in the Niger Delta region to enhance sustainability through agro-business development in the state.
The major challenges is how to convince this youth to come into real farming. Farming as what? As business, not just a subsistence farming of the old. So we try to give them orientation, training, talk to them, then out of which they will now develop the business plan. From there, the project we carry out real capacity building. That capacity building, we will do what we call incubator model, in which the incubator, that is the beneficiary, we understudy the incubator for a period of time, some a month, some 2 months, some 3 months. From there, then the project will then empower them, and we still continue with mentorship.
Some young farmers trained by the International Fund for Agricultural Development in Ondo State lauded the project. The farmers said that the training and empowerment had given them a new lease of life.
I thank God today I am part of the beneficiary. I have been empowered for at least a year ago. So and I'm doing good. I thank God. If not for IFAD Life ND, I have not been able to become who I am today.
They have the structure that will work effectively in building and increasing the capacity and giants in every youth that is ready to pursue his passion, and is not having much to go about it. After a year, I was supplied my own inputs as a farmer, as a poultry farmer. The layers were given to me. That was 300 birds. From there, I was able to furthermore to ensure my stability in the business. Even though there was challenges here and there, but the trainings that I've received in life ending over the years that my money could not afford to get, I've been able to, life ending, I've given a kind of knowledge that is more than money.
IFAD's work aims to catalyze country and global progress for rural people to overcome poverty and achieve food security through remunerative, sustainable, and resilient livelihoods.
The International Day for the Eradication of Poverty is observed annually on October 17 as set aside by the United Nations to end all forms of poverty on the globe. The theme for this year's commemoration, Decent Work and Social Protection, Putting Dignity in Practice for All, aims at universal access to decent work and social protection as a way to uphold human dignity for all. Osrc's Joy Pius reports that the day creates a chance for people living in poverty to make their concerns known and reflect their willingness to utilize their expertise to contribute towards poverty eradication. A report.
The International Day for the Eradication of Poverty in Developing Countries.
Poverty has been in existence for a very long time. It's not what government can come one day and say they want to eradicate it. No.
Things have to change in this country. Like, people are really suffering. People are really suffering a lot.
This year's theme, Decent Work and Social Protection, Putting Dignity in Practice for All, calls for universal access to decent work and social protection as a means to uphold human dignity and to emphasize that decent work must empower people, provide fair wages and safe working conditions, and fundamentally recognize the inherent value and humanity of all workers. Speaking on the significance,
I believe that the wages they are earning is not a living wage. You know, especially in our country, we talk of minimum wage, but people are also talking about living wage. So if you look at it now, some people they say that especially since the advent of the removal of subsidy, most workers have been complaining. Kudos to Ondo State government that also provides some palliative in terms of transportation palliative to workers to convene them from place to place. So in an environment where we don't have such intervention, you discover that even people that are working can be deemed to be poor.
If government can help us to provide job opportunity, it will be well sound to the masses. That is what the masses, most especially the youth, they are listening to hear, that government will provide a job opportunity to them. But if they fail to provide a job opportunity, that poverty will never stop in Nigeria.
According to the Ondo State Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Emmanuel Igbason, Ondo State is identified as the least state on the National Poverty Index, as the state government is introducing different policies to enhance the standard of living of the people.
Everything we've been doing since the inception of this administration is people-centric. People-centric in the nature, in the form that everything we do revolves around the welfare and economic well-being of our people. So it is not surprising that we came out tops as a state. For example, if you prioritize the payment of salaries as we did in the first term, there's a ripple effect that is created because the civil servants in the state are the highest spenders. I know fully well that more than 60% of all the total money that comes from those states goes to that sector. Thereby, when you empower this sector of people, the trickle-down effect trickles down to artisans, to commerce, to trade, even to estate, and various aspects of the economy is touched.
We know government alone cannot do it. Even most of our programs are sponsored by foreign agencies. That is why we can afford to give out all this equipment we are giving out to all these people. Like the barbers,